Hello everyone, my name is Martin Davis and I'm Coastal Engineer for the Environment Agency for the Devon and Cornwall area, and my presentation is how nature-based solutions enhance traditional coastal management. As with all projects, it's important that we understand the bigger picture policy drivers. For us, the National Flood and Coastal Erosion Risk Management Strategy identifies our vision for the nation to be ready and resilient to flooding and coastal change today and tomorrow. And through a series of strategic objectives, including nature-based solutions, we're looking to improve the environment through investment, to improve flood and coastal resilience. Regionally, we use shoreline management plans, and which identify within discrete sediment cells along sections of coastline. We look to implement various policies, long-term sustainable management policies, either holding the line, managed realignment, or no active intervention, to manage flood risk now and erosion risk now and into the future. We need to ensure we have evidence-based decision making for the best available science, the best available data, for our projects to be robust to challenge, not just through government challenge to justify public spending, but also community challenge. How do we know our projects are successful? We need to do that through long-term monitoring and evidence-based decision making. For long-term coastal change monitoring projects and adaptation, a long-term record is key. We are very fortunate we have a long-term record through our coastal monitoring programs around the country to record coastal change based on robust data collection techniques. But also the past is a very good indicator of the future, so long-term historical records are also a very good indicator. And examples here on the screen just give that confidence that change has happened before and it could happen again, and we use that to help define baselines and scenarios for future planning. I'm sure we are all familiar with the scenes on this slide where traditional hard engineering structures are being tested, and they'll be increasingly tested in the future as sea level rise and increased storminess happens. But it's important to see our coastal defences not just as the concrete and steel, but the beach in front. And that beach is expected to lower as energy against hard structures increases. And what we do next is important. What do we know about the problem to inform the next steps? So adaptation is needed where possible. Often in urban areas, we are hostages to previous management decision making. Hard structures on dynamic coastlines means those problems will be stored up for the future, and we are committed to now having to invest in aging infrastructure that will be very hard to maintain going forward. So therefore, where possible, we look to adapt through managed realignment. This example here where the road was unsustainable in its current alignment, so therefore a setback position was needed. And we should always look to adapt to a more nature-based solution, working with processes where possible to identify more sustainable alignments, as more sustainable long-term management policy. Along urban frontages where there is a recreational beach, it's important to invest in control structures to maintain that beach width, to maintain natural capital through investment in recreational areas. And one thing we are improving in the UK is to value natural capital better. It's now being recognised as part of funding justification for schemes that well-being is very important, and therefore that it's important that that's valued as part of your scheme justification. And this example here in Bournemouth, where lots of work is invested into maintaining a natural asset. As I said, the beach is an important flood defence, therefore has multi-benefits. But it involves ongoing maintenance, disruption and cost, which needs to be assessed on a regular basis, but brought into that asset management program so it's correctly monitored and evaluated. These complex change projects, it's important that we learn from doing. And the US Corps of Engineers, in collaboration with many others, have an Engineering with Nature Atlas that identifies a lot of these projects. So it's a collaboration of science and engineering and environmental benefit to maximize the potential and value of natural processes. So it's working with others in partnerships, whether it's organizational or communities, to maximize the benefit of natural capital. There's other projects you may be familiar with in the UK through Glasgow University. It's called Greening the Grey, where traditional hard structures, often urban structures, are looked to be textured with niche habitat and features to improve the aesthetics and natural habitat potential. So as part of that learning by doing, it's important that we share experiences, share lessons learned from projects, and that's what this conference is all about. So thank you for listening and have a good conference.